This man who has more money than sense recreated a game that's literally about the abuses and horrors of capitalism. That's a joke, right?
I listen to music for the music.
Be so for real.
I'm dead fucking serious.
You don't know what the lyrics are to Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl?
No.
We're going to go home and have a sing-along because that's unacceptable behavior.
I am finding myself, I am becoming more aware of how many songs I know, but don't know the words to at all. Like, I don't know the words to them at all. Like, so
that
even...
is so wild. We watched a TikTok about the, lyrics people versus...
music. Only music.
Yeah, you're
only
definitely
music.
the music person.
I also, I just want to know real quick, yes. I just ate some really spicy food.
Oh, we're doing it?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
From New York City.
Hello. I'm actually so mad right now that I'm actually remembering that, hi, I'm Aaron.
Oh, hi, I'm Mickey. This is we should unpack this.
Yes. And this is our 50th episode.
It is joyous day.
In true form and fashion, we have come full around. I am so ready to hate today.
Oh, me too.
I am so...
But this is not being a hating ass.
No,
this is like talking about people who are awful.
Righteous, and I knew it too, and I've known it.
Same.
I've known, like,
Same.
You can just, I'm going to tell you something right now, and I'm going to look at the camera for this. You can fucking see it in people's eyes.
Yes.
You can fucking tell. If
Yes.
you have any sense of social, I don't know if it's the trauma or something, like, you can fucking see it in people's eyes.
You can
like,
feel it. Yes.
I know, I don't know if it's, I'm not autistic because you guys have told me I'm not, but the eye contact thing, like, I will look into your,
uncomfortable already.
I will look into your soul. Like, if we're on a date, like, I'm fucking locked in.
You are the eye contact man.
I am not the best, but if we're like, if something's important, I am.
Yeah, you're locked
I am
in.
the active listener.
You know what's funny?
Tell me.
I was sending voice memos back and forth with Hannah today because...
Okay, we love Hannah.
Hannah and I, yes, we do. Shout out to Hannah. We went to Vidsummit together back in the day. Oof. Hannah and I have a whole podcast episode about it on Thanks We Hate It, RIP, for the time being. It might come back, but just, it's a lot.
For the time being, rip.
Hannah has a lot on her plate.
It's like how they used to do the mummies. It's like in its thing. Nope, because they took all the organs out. Never mind. Continue. No. Your organs are still, in fact,
We're in
intact.
Like cryonics. Yeah.
Crayons?
Cryonics. You're frozen.
Cryonics. I don't know what that is. I think that's nothing.
Frozen.
Cryo. Yeah, like
cryogenic.
Yeah, like in some science fiction, they put people to sleep in cryogenic chambers.
You're asleep.
You're slumbering. You're resting.
Thanks we hated.
You're hibernating.
Things we hated is hibernating.
Like a bear.
You're
my bear.
Hannah has a lot on her plate and she does the editing, so it's on a long-term hiatus for the time being. But we have a whole episode on that podcast where we talked about how much we hated Vidsummit. And one of the things that I said to Hannah while we were there that I didn't put in the episode, I don't think, because I was trying not to be an asshole, is that at Vidsummit, they had these cardboard cutouts of MrBeast, Jimmy, everywhere. They were like all around everywhere.
Weird.
Which is weird in the first place. But second of all, we were just walking around, Hannah and I like elbowed her and pointed at one of the things, and I was like, Hannah, and she was like, what? And I was like, look at his eyes. And she was like, what? And I was like, look at his eyeballs in the cardboard cutout. And I was like, those are spooky, man. He's dead behind the eyes. Like, there's something spooky and weird going on. And I was like, who knows? Maybe there's just like, maybe it's an AI generated face. And so that's why it's creepy, right? It's entirely possible that that's the case. But the way that he emotes has never sat right with me, And especially if you're a fellow autistic, you will resonate probably with the like pattern recognition thing where like sometimes people irk you and you don't know why, but it's
off.
Like a pattern recognition thing that like autistic brains are really good at. And so it's like a thing where you're like, no, I don't, there's something about that person that's just not right. Aaron's grabbing his putty. So yeah, we're fresh and ready to be hating asses today. We just got back from our vacation, which granted it was a work trip for you, so I think it's probably a little less fun.
Still fun.
But honestly, I enjoyed myself a lot. I have also had many epiphanies about setting better boundaries with myself and the internet.
You've been doing so good.
Thank you.
With your boundaries. I feel like,
you.
I think that's just such a testament to, and like even someone who works with people on boundaries every fucking day and talks about boundaries and makes YouTube videos about boundaries.
Do as I say and not as I do.
But like, there's still so much, like, it's never, I think that's why it's so nice the way you position your content too, is like, you're not like the know-it-all therapist with the armor.
Never.
Like you, like you are very much still, we're all just figuring it out. No one knows shit about shit, you know?
There's a footer on my website that says, let's get our shit together.
Yeah.
And that's like very much the energy, because like I'm also, I think the other thing about boundaries though is that it's a continually evolving process, right? I tell my clients that all the time, that like, it's not like getting to a finish line and then you're done. It's like a continual, because like things change and circumstances will like, you know, be sort of fluid. And so you have to adapt to that as you go. So part of my adapting with my new boundaries is being online less, which I think will be really good for my mental health. But anyways, vacation was very refreshing. I enjoyed it. You probably enjoyed it a little less because you had to work.
I enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it.
But we had a lot of fun together.
It's such a good time.
Regardless, the renewed energy has given us the life force to be haters today.
Oh, and I'm ready. And I'm ready. We had some, it's like every time we go on vacation or something, I feel like everything pops off at the same time.
Oh my God.
We needed everyone to take a pause.
Yes.
And everyone did the opposite.
Oh my God.
We had Kamala stepped in.
Yes.
The presidential race.
Yes, we're having Kamala Brat Summer.
Announced John
Wills
George,
is his last name.
Waltz. God damn. Like,
he's kind of great, actually.
Hit and a hit.
Like, let's be clear that like all politicians are bastards. And also, I kind of like him.
But also, too, I need everyone to touch some grass and like the options. Let's be fucking for real. Biden stepping out of the race. God bless. I know. Like whoever is in charge of everything. I don't know if they're down there, if they're up there. I don't know who's running the simulation. Thank you for that one. Everyone needed that W. Have you seen Trump being like, Biden, will you join the race back again? It's embarrassing.
Stop. He does not say that.
They don't have a single fucking. There's not a single fresh idea in that old goddamn fucking brain of his.
No.
I
was gonna say I don't think there's a single fresh idea like anywhere over there.
But damn, it's just so funny to watch Republicans fucking self-destruct because they can't just say, "Oh, he's old." Well, yeah. Guess
or,
what?
Like,
now,
make fun of his stutter or whatever. Yeah.
Like, good job.
Also,
Congrats.
can I just say that I recognize that like Kamala is essentially a cop, right? There's lots of problematic things about her past that like I fundamentally disagree with. And also, like, I refuse to let people steal my joy that we have, like, for the first time, a black woman on the ballot to be president. Like, that's a big deal. And, like, it's looking, like, kind of hopeful, actually, that she might win.
All they had to do...
So I refuse to let people steal my fucking joy about that. Like, just stop it.
All Democrats had to do was, like, try like this much. They like literally try this much, make some funny TikToks.
Yes.
And they fucking
and also
blast.
I know we talked about Imani from Crutches and Spice last time, but like I mean, she just stays being right.
Imani deserves a fucking. That was such a good one.
Pop.
Imani deserves a payout because literally like the roadmap.
And many awards because she was right. She's been talking for months about how the Democratic Party, if they made just a minor shift to be instead of like anti-Trump, being like pro-future and like being the hopeful party, that things would look very different. And like lo and behold, it's been a very short amount of time.
I don't care.
And things have really... like wound themselves up.
I genuinely don't care. I live in the real world, and like
that's
this
the other
is
thing too.
This is as much as a W as it can be. Does everything still suck? Yeah, but you know where it sucks a lot fucking more?
Yeah,
with Trump. So like if this is where we are, then like the bar is so low. The bar is so low. Like I'll take fucking.
Well, and just as a brief disclaimer, also I recognize that like operating within the bounds of a two-party system sucks, and it's like
obviously.
Kind of like the fallacy of choice, right? It's like the thing that you do to toddlers,
it is the fallacy of choice.
Where like you tell them like you can have bath time first, or we can read a story.
Yeah,
and it's like. Ultimately the outcome is you're still going to bed, and I recognize that. And also the kind of like full scale revolution that a lot of people are advocating for in saying that like don't vote for anybody or like vote third party or whatever, like that kind of like upheaval is great in theory,
love the
not
energy.
Good in practice, especially for marginalized people, right? Like what are your disabled loved ones going to do when we start lighting everything on fire, right? Like, what is the material impact of that
Yes.
on people of color, on disabled people, on people who are like impoverished, right? Like that, like the material impact of that matters. And I think to say Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are the same is like so disingenuous and not helpful.
Well, and because also too that shit just comes from such a place of privilege where people don't. The people who get to say that aren't affected by the decision. Like
no, absolutely.
Like, you and me would probably be fine either which way. That's not the fucking point though.
No, exactly.
Is like again, like no one is free until all of us are free. Like I don't understand. Actually, Walt said something about rights. I saw a thing from him where the pie
and
thing.
I know.
I was like, is this happening right now in real life? Did I like? I know. No one loses. I can't remember how he described. Do you remember?
Yeah, he was saying rights aren't like a damn pie. It's not like somebody loses some and someone else gains some. He was like, there's enough to go around for everybody.
There's just pie for everyone.
Is so true.
Let everyone have pie. Fuck, man.
Yes, and like obviously Kamala Harris is not my ideal choice, but I think it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Someone at least who's not 4 times our age.
I know, and I think
man.
Also it like buys us some time.
Literally buys us some time.
Create some like permanent barriers to entry for Donald Trump so that we're not staring down the barrel of a gun every election until that man dies.
Goddamn.
Because like I think the time to be voting third party or like making radical choices on a candidate is when we have like Kamala Harris as the incumbent and then like somebody else as like a slightly less radical option, you know?
I refused because 2016 and on, essentially, I refused to spend my fucking life miserable and sad, like, and fucking mad and angry. I'm gonna spend it mad. Don't you worry. Yeah, but about the things I want to be angry about.
Well, and about things that like are material that we can like change and affect. You know.
So like, if I get one synapse, I don't know what it is when your brain puts them together of happiness, of joy, of a little bit of hope. Like I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it, guys. I'm gonna take the little wins that we can and like. Does the system at large fucking suck?
Yes, obviously.
It does. And like, wow, good
we're the same person.
We are. Our brains, like, especially like when we hang out with people.
Oh, God.
And I just want to be like, Pumpkin, stop fucking, like, I was going to say that first.
I'm like, stop.
Oh my God. So we were hanging out with one of our best friends. And literally back to back to
like
back, you were like, we said like, yeah, and oh yeah, like
we were like, oh, and then we were like, wow, we're the same person
at the same exact fucking time.
Yeah, it was like same cadence and camber and everything. It was really embarrassing, but also kind of cute. Yeah,
I love it so much.
I'm not mad at it. So yeah, that's our brief political discourse for today. You're welcome to disagree with us.
Always.
We talked about this last time. We are not political, like activists. We're not educated enough to be like finger wagging at anybody, but those are our opinions and our feelings, and you're welcome to disagree with them. But what I'm not going to take is like verbal abuse in my comments.
Genuinely.
So also, let's just get this out of the way in the beginning. If you're a MrBeast fanboy, bye.
With what grounds?
I don't. Also, I just don't care. Like, there is no world where you can convince me that somebody who's had the amount of accusations, like credible accusations, leveled at him that MrBeast has is someone that we should be going, well, but don't you think he's a nice guy? No.
When this goes out.
No, I fucking don't.
As it is right now, we're filming this the week. It's 8:08 today or whatever. Yeah. It's the 8. Yeah. Also one of the most classic drum machines, the TR-808.
Oh, yeah. No, right.
And so like as it is right now, like you made a video that like after you filmed or like put the outline together, you're like, I already have to add more because more stuff came out. So
literally like 5 hours after I finished it.
I can just feel it's like a fucking rock and there's just cockroaches just fucking covering the bottom of this thing.
The same person who made that part 2 that has a terrible account of a man being tortured.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But that creator has already disclosed that they're planning on making a part 3 that includes apparently pretty credible accusations about SA taking place in the company. I don't doubt it at all.
Also the Rosanna
Panzino.
What, Nerdy Nummies?
Nerdy Nummies. Well, yeah, she rebranded, but it's just, that's her.
That was her like original.
Yes.
I always remember too, I was like, damn, must be nice to be. Those before we had a channel. I was like, damn, because when she got that new house with the kitchen and everything,
yeah,
I was like, fuck me, man. I was like, YouTube must be good fucking money. And you know, here we are.
But
It's
also
okay.
too, you know what makes me laugh now that like we're on the other side of things is that her whole house was a tax write-off, probably.
Oh, definitely.
Because she filmed it and put up content about it and whatever. So she got to write all of that off of her business expenses. And that house was like essentially tax-free when she bought it then. Woo. Love that for her.
If I could whistle right there, I would have whistled with you.
Anyways,
don't make fun of me for not being able to whistle.
That's okay.
Actually, you could make fun of me for not being able to
There
whistle.
was one other thing that we wanted to talk about. It was election stuff.
There's some family stuff happen. Ballerinas.
Oh, Ballerina Farm.
Oh, it was Ballerina. I was right.
Ballerina Farm.
Nice.
It's such a rabbit hole. At the time that this is going up, it's kind of old news, honestly. But it's an interesting foray into the world of like fundamentalism meets mainstream news.
Oh.
Essentially, the pared down version is that there is a couple, this man who I can't remember what his name is, like Dan or Dave or something.
Generic.
It's a D name.
Generic name.
And a woman whose name also escapes me. Hannah? Their last name is Nealman. I know that for sure.
Okay.
But they're a married couple and they have
they
have 8 children.
Okay.
Like pretty back to back to back to back. And they make content about homesteading, about farming.
You did tell me a little bit about
this.
this.
They live on like a 360 acre farm in Utah. Yeah. Do you know why they live on a farm that is so big and how they like afforded this big giant property?
Because they're Mormons? I don't know. Are they Mormons?
Potentially. Yeah, they're Mormons.
Oh. You said Utah, so I just assumed.
The husband is like essentially a trust fund baby. His dad or grandpa owns JetBlue Airways.
Papa owns JetBlue Airways?
Uh-huh. Also, that's how he got his...
I could just, to be so lucky and to still be such a shitty, like...
I know.
We'll get into this with MrBeast too.
To be such a shitty person. It escapes me.
It eludes me.
But that's actually how he got his first date with the woman who is now his wife, is that she said, because she was a student at Juilliard, she was a ballerina. That's why it's called Ballerina Farm. She was a student at Juilliard and was like, I don't know, apparently doing pretty well, and met him and was like, well, I have to go back to New York City, blah, blah, blah. And so, what's his bucket? Pulled some strings with his dad or Peepaw or whoever and got a seat right next to her on the airplane. And so that was their first date. Is that not stalker behavior? He also didn't tell her that. Like, she didn't find out that until
they didn't
much
plan
later.
this.
Oh, no, she didn't know.
She thought it just happened by happenstance.
Yeah, he was like, wow, fancy meeting you here. Yeah. She didn't know. She did not ask him to do that. She didn't want him to do that. Apparently, he wanted to get engaged and or to start dating. And for 6 months, she was avoiding him until he got on an airplane. And then like that was their first date or whatever. They had like met, started dating, got engaged, married, and had a baby, I think within the span of like a year or 2 years, maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
So she got pregnant while she was at Juilliard. Unclear if she planned that or not. And then had to quit.
Well, if she's being a ballerina, I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say probably not.
She had to quit.
I don't think being
like,
pregnant is very good for
give up dancing and has been like a stay-at-home mom ever since. And now, of course, just will not shut up about how much she loves being a stay-at-home mom and all this stuff.
Wet his fucking pants.
She's the mom on TikTok that makes these little videos where she's like making homemade pasta or whatever with her kids.
When they're like, when your kids want pasta and it takes you 8 days to make it.
It's kind of, she's kind of like Nora Smith. Yeah, a different person. But she's the one who'll make like, like a little pizza with her kids or whatever. And then behind her in the background is this like old school, like old fashioned cast iron oven that's like bright green.
Okay.
Except that oven is $20,000. Just the oven. And also they really do the most to like cosplay this image of like old pioneer living, except that like behind a linen curtain is a dishwasher. And like they don't tell everybody about all of the modern conveniences that they have in their house. It's like very like intended to be consumed by an audience.
They're literally like, it's like the how to make a table in 5 easy steps. First step, use a $25,000 fucking saw or a machine or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, use a lathe.
Yes. I genuinely like go fucking eat dirt. Also,
literally,
like,
what the fuck?
that shit, as soon after you told me to the pipeline from wellness to fucking homesteading.
The homesteading to QAnon
also,
pipeline is so real.
It's just fucking romanticizing shit that like no one actually, you know why we don't live like that still? Because
died.
it fucking sucked.
Yes.
You want like
because people died because it was a really hard way to live your life because it was like grueling and terrifying. I mean,
convenient. I mean, there's plenty. There's okay. So to be clear,
you're gonna hate the highways. To be fair,
okay. Well, to be clear, that's the gray that we're living in.
But also too, because I love buying stuff from Target. So like.
Not so much more as of late. Target's really gone downhill.
I just mean like I enjoy the convenience of buying stuff from big box stores. Is what
I didn't mean
saying.
to be so pedantic.
Sorry,
just
what?
keep going. Just keep chugging.
Pedantic, huh?
Pedantic. I have been putting a lot of words together lately.
You have been.
I think I might be in cognitive decline.
Mercury is retrograding in Virgo, actually, at the current moment. So
I can say things.
You can. But anyways, so this family sort of makes their living by cosplaying, pioneer
Faking.
living.
Acting.
And this reporter came to do an interview with them and specifically apparently requested to speak with Mrs. Nealman. I don't remember her first name. Also, this is the woman who went viral because she gave birth to their 8th child. And then 12 days later was in like a Miss America pageant or something. Yeah.
What?
She made like a whole big show of like, taking iron supplements and doing all these workouts and all this stuff.
The Kardashians stopped caring about that. They're off the getting back into Khloe, Kendall.
Thin white women care an awful lot, I tell you that.
And then meanwhile, the Kardashians are like, we don't understand what effect we've had on people.
Yeah.
Also, too, that's just so shitty to other people who have traumatic births.
Yes.
And like this other, like we already don't need to make like giving birth is hard enough as it is.
Yes.
I just don't understand,
The focus on aesthetics after giving birth is so odd to me. Because also, like, why would your body look the same? You just underwent. A human. Well, also, you just underwent a life-changing medical event.
Yeah.
Like, literally, your muscular skeletal system changes.
Yeah.
Your hips have to move apart. The whole reason that people have heartburn during pregnancy is because there's an enzyme that's released called elastin that causes the cartilage in your bones to become a little bit more flexible so that your hips can spread apart so that a fucking head can fit through your hip girdle.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Human bodies are fucking cool. It
relaxes the smooth muscle between your stomach and your esophagus, and that's why you get heartburn.
God is a woman.
That's what I'm saying. It's
the
wild.
Olympics. We haven't talked about the Olympics yet.
It was on my agenda.
Oh,
it was on my agenda.
Well, I won't let you forget. I didn't even know there were men's sports.
We have a whole theory. Don't
these
spoil
fingers.
it. We have a whole theory. Don't spoil it. Anyways, let's just wrap up briefly the Ballerina Farm thing.
I can do this.
But yeah, so she made a whole big show about being in a beauty pageant after giving birth and all of this stuff. But
whatever.
So this reporter came to talk to them.
The reporter came because she won this thing.
Well, because also they're just viral, right? They're hugely popular on social media.
Pickings, okay.
And the reporter came to talk to them supposedly to learn more about their family and blah, blah, blah.
Yes, of course.
The actual write-up ended up being kind of scathing, essentially accusing the husband of being like a controlling and domineering and like maybe abusive
You mean someone in a religious family with traditional values is acting their traditional value roles?
But then also at the same time, now there's speculation that maybe this whole thing was a setup, that it was a hoax. Because
like with the husband too?
Well, and with the reporter also. That like maybe this was all a mutually agreed upon publicity stunt because it sparked outrage, obviously. The write-up accusing this husband of like not letting his wife talk, and there was a lot of focus on like how sad it was for her to quit dancing. And there's a moment in the article.
Is this a video? Oh, it's an article.
There's a moment in the article that I was like, well, okay. I was like really suspicious of where Nealman, the wife, she leans forward towards the reporter and she's like, documenting and explaining all of her births and whatever. And she explains to the reporter that there was one birth that she had an epidural for because her husband wasn't there because he was like off doing whatever the fuck at work. sus in the first place.
He wasn't there for. I mean, I guess.
No, there's no
Also,
excuse
someone
for
who
that.
has enough money and papa to pay for plane tickets.
He can't leave work. But so he wasn't there, and so she had a hospital birth instead of a home birth like she normally does, and she got an epidural, and she like leans forward to the reporter supposedly and like whispers like, it was pretty great. The epidural. Wow. It was like talking about it like it was a secret, and it just felt very on the nose. Like we were intentionally trying to paint this picture of like, he won't let me get an epidural, but wow, did I love it. It really seemed like it was
have sweets.
Yeah, it really seemed like it was intended to garner sympathy from people and to spark outrage and make people talk
like
about
this husband is not allowing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tracking.
So the theory now is that this whole thing was a setup to gain publicity, not just for the magazine and to get like clicks and views and whatever, but also for Ballerina Farms, because obviously that translates to engagement, right? Like if you look at her comment section now, flooded with people who are like, you know, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, or like, you know, your husband's terrible, or like we're so sorry for you.
Defense. Yes,
well, and people who are mad at her, and people who are saying, you know, like you're, you know, spreading all kinds of terrible lies, and like, you know, like especially about the beauty pageant thing, like this was so, you know, shitty of you to do, and blah blah blah, whatever. So like clearly that translates to money for an influencer. So that's a very, very abridged version of the Ballerina Farm situation.
So we do know, is it hoax?
No.
We don't know yet. We don't know.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever know.
This is all just alleged speculation?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever know. I doubt that she's going to come clean.
As long as I say those words were fair. Also, allegedly, everything we're talking about in this episode is alleged. Yeah,
we are going to have to be super, super careful because allegedly, there are reports from other people who have alleged that MrBeast and Jimmy Donaldson are quite litigious as both an entity and a person.
Does that surprise me at all? Also, anyone... Okay, are we switching gears?
Are we talking about the Olympics first?
What do you think that people want to hear about the most? And then we'll talk about that last. That's how the YouTubers do it.
Well, I feel like we're going to end up talking about the MrBeast accusations for the longest.
And I'm going to get mad, and the Olympics make me happy. So I want to stay happy.
Let's talk about the Olympics.
Yeah, I like happy. Happy's good.
First of all, I am in love. I have to tell you, there is another woman in my life, and her name is Ilona Mar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm obsessed with her. I love her.
I have never... We joke about the muscle mommy thing.
Yeah. No, but this is not a joke. I'm so serious.
She's muscle mommy.
Yeah.
That is,
I don't know if I want to like be her or be with her or like have her run me over.
There's just...
Maybe all three.
I think it's so funny because you're no better than a man. You're no better.
I'm fine with that. I really am no better than a man.
It's so funny people aren't more into rugby because rugby is way fucking more badass.
Yes.
Motherfuckers are way harder. Also, there's so much rich cultural ties into it.
Yes.
As opposed to like football.
Yes.
I know like it's fine. The sports ball and stuff or whatever, it's fine.
Whatever.
But like rugby
sick.
Is nuts.
Especially
rugby
watching
the
New Zealand teams before matches do like indigenous practice like the Maori. I think it's called a haka.
Don't ask me. I don't know, but I think that's right. But
it's like a ceremonial thing that they do that like chills every time. Oh, it's so cool.
Crazy. Yeah,
it's so cool. Anyways, Ilona Mar is my new favorite person.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love Simone Biles. Simone Biles is the GOAT.
That's like saying love breathing air, you know?
Exactly.
Like, of course, everyone loves air.
Everybody loves that.
Yes. Also, I love that they refer to her husband as Simone Biles' husband. That is feminism at work.
Mr. Simone Biles. That is good. She does really hate that, though, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because there's all kinds of like negative publicity. We don't have time to get into it.
I heard just one thing. I heard that he didn't know who she was. Apparently, when they started.
Said.
Yeah,
that's where the controversy came from.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
I don't believe that either. But she really loves him and really wishes that people on social media would not be mean to him. And so,
not being mean. Just
if you love Simone Biles, then I guess we also love Simone Biles' husband.
I feel like
I truly, honest to God, don't know his fucking name.
I feel like that's how I feel sometimes. You're like, you guys like me, so you have to like Aaron.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
Also, Katie Ledecky. Swimmers be swimming.
Oh my God. I have yet to meet someone who matches my energy. I need somebody to match my freak about Katie Ledecky.
It's not going to be me. I think swimming is great. It's
every
cool.
time that I talk about how fucking wild
you get very excited. Tell everyone.
It's so... It's wild.
Go
if you
off.
guys haven't watched the coverage of the Olympics, first of all, Katie Ledecky is just an amazing swimmer generally, right? But like the NBC coverage, obviously most people are familiar with the way that like the camera pans.
I love watching
back,
the underwater
like, to
camera.
and fro. Yes, yeah, the underwater
favorite.
camera and all this stuff, right? And typically with an Olympic race, like an Olympic swimming race, the last little bit of the race, the camera is focused on like where like the starting block where all of the swimmers touch and they get how everybody finishes.
Yes. I love all the add-ons and the graphics.
More than once. This is not like a fluke. It's not something that happened one time. More than once. The final, like the finishing frame that NBC has of Katie Ledecky finishing the race doesn't have anybody else in it because she swims so fast. Katie Ledecky finished an Olympic swimming race and then was like,
and these aren't the 15 meters either. It's like the 400 and 800, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's just some ungodly amount of laps.
Wild.
Like,
so she's literally just watching the other Olympians swim towards her, being like,
I'm sorry.
like she has time to smoke a cigarette in the time it takes everybody else to get there.
They're better people than me. But like, and I would never. But I'd be up there like reading a book or something. Like I'd be like, don't come back next year, motherfuckers. It's just for me. This pool is mine.
There was a man whose videos I stumbled across on TikTok. He was watching the gymnasts when he was like making these videos. But he was like, I really need you women to talk your shit more at the Olympics. And like, honestly, couldn't agree more. I want to see more shit talking because like, Katie Ledecky deserves to, man. Like, that's just another level of, like, tenacity and athleticism that I just, like, it's
especially
honestly
swimming.
It's awe-inspiring.
Wildly
Absolutely
exhausting.
Insane.
I
love it. I love it so much.
After watching that, too, because we would joke, we were out on a boat, and I was like, do you think I could swim back to the shore? Like, do you think I could?
No.
And I'm like, it's not that far. Like, I think I could do it.
No.
I think I could do it.
You would die of exhaustion.
And I think you're right.
You would drown.
And I'm fine with it. I think that's fair.
Swimming is so hard.
And
especially swimming quickly and swimming with good form and like breathing efficiently.
Yeah, and having someone beating down your neck.
Not choking under the pressure, not being anxious, not making a mistake, like for all of those factors to align perfectly for somebody to swim a race that's literally like world record breaking like that is just awe-inspiring.
Synchronized swimming?
Oh,
how do they do it?
How do they do it?
I'm dead serious.
Incredible.
I want to know how it works.
No, I'm being so serious.
Me too. I'm being so serious.
I want to understand.
Like, because they go underwater, but then they're holding their breath, and they're kicking, and they're fucking.
Well, and they're doing their little egg beater
and it's
with the legs.
I didn't touch the thing, did I? Everything's still working.
Think so.
Okay, we're good.
Looks like it's working.
And they're but then they're doing
so
sync with the music. But also, I'm like, oh, how can they? Like, what is the music? Probably just feels like.
Yeah. No, they're definitely just like doing it based on memory. But
and I know we did like marching band and stuff, so like I get it, like choreographing and like timing and all that stuff. But like you could underwater.
Yeah, well, you can't breathe.
No. Fresh, incredible, amazing.
Absolutely wild.
No notes.
Never been done.
Another club party. Another club.
Bus club. Another club.
No sleep.
Absolutely.
Literally the Olympics,
energy.
the Summer Olympics.
Oh, so good.
So who? Because we had a little thing. We won't say who per se, but it's just very telling on what sports you watch.
Yes,
in the Olympics.
I think it's an interesting litmus test to talk to people about.
What sports are you excited about?
Yes, to ask people like, what sports have you been watching? Like, what are you interested in, and whatever. Because for you and I, like, the only things that I was interested in watching are all women's sports, right? Like, I've seen so many supercuts on TikTok too of like, God is definitely a woman, because there are so many incredible and amazing female athletes. Oh my God. The running, the triathlon, obviously the gymnastics, like the whole gymnastics team is incredible.
I will say the men's runs were...
Sure. Yeah. Those were also cool. Yes. But like the vast majority of what we were watching was the female sports, right?
I mean...
And like when other people are like, oh, I was watching like the shooting or like...
I watched badminton a little bit.
Yeah, like when people
co-ed.
Specifically seek out all male sports, I'm like, that was a good pop, by the way. I don't know. I think it's a side eye from me too. Because I don't know. I really admire the athleticism of women and like also the tenacity and like overcoming the adversity that it takes to be a female athlete is like so impressive in my opinion.
Seriously, all the respect.
It also, honestly, it made me kind of emotional and like teary eyed to see the women's gymnastics team this year having overcome so many things and like with the stain of like what happened with the Larry Nassar case and all of that stuff. Like it was such like a beautiful and triumphant moment to see these incredibly athletic and accomplished women, like not just uplifting themselves and each other, and also like the gold medalist in the floor final from Brazil, but also like genuinely delighting in the sport and like seeming so alive and excited and
like
happy.
Everyone takes care of each other.
Yes,
and I'm sure
I was
that could be
like tearing up a little bit.
But like, I'd like to think it's not.
I don't know.
I think it's sincere.
I think it was also just, it was refreshing to see that like the coaches were genuinely excited for them, right?
Oh,
like,
I feel so bad when they have to console someone. Also, someone's coach is their dad. And they're like,
Jade
oh,
Carey,
yeah. When like, oh, you know, when she's getting ready to perform, it's coach time.
Yeah.
As soon as she's done, it's dad, you know?
Yeah, I know,
which
is so sweet. Yeah.
Oh,
see, we did it again.
So gross. It's gross. It's disgusting.
But no, I thought that like, I don't know, change in presence was really refreshing. And especially, you know, like given the way that coaching and, you know, like training has been handled in the past for the women's gymnastics team, it was really refreshing to see them being like people and being happy and silly and like you know, enjoying their sport that like they have spent their whole lives training for this moment. Like they should get to fucking enjoy it a little bit,
literally.
You know?
No, because like if you don't get to enjoy it there, then like what the fuck is the point?
What the fuck is the point of all of this? Like, if I can't scuba, then what's all this been for?
For nothing. For not. I think it's so cool too, or I think it's so funny that like seeing. I think that's one area of TikTok that I do really appreciate. Yeah, it's kind of getting the more like very behind the scenes. Yeah, but also like it's so personable. Like especially Ilona Mar. Yeah. Yes. And I know it's just, I think too, like when she like a video, then we get a ton, but like it's just so fun.
I know.
Like, you're like, oh, this person who just went and competed. Yes. At like literally the highest level in the whole fucking universe. Yeah. Just like, just making a TikTok, you know, like.
Just being silly on the streets of Paris.
Just being a human. Just like, because I think it's just really like one thing, because you're like, sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, like they're not that much better. And then you watch some stuff and you're like, never mind. Never mind. Yes. Like not even in this ballpark.
Absolutely not.
Sport.
No. I also forgot to say this earlier. Shout out to the women's rugby team, the Olympic rugby team, because this is the first time that any rugby team in the United States has won a medal at the Olympics in 100 years.
That's crazy.
And the last time that they won it, it was the men's team who won in 1924, and it was also in Paris.
Oh wait, no
shit.
Isn't
that such a neat synchronicity?
See, that's
I love
like,
shit like that.
And it's like, you can't say that wasn't the stars. You know what I'm saying?
I think it is. I know you're making fun of me, but I'm being serious.
I'm kind of half. I'm like,
I think it's true.
I'm both. I
love that.
I think there's definitely some. I love it too.
Love it. Love smoking.
Love it.
To be clear, I'm not a smoker. I just picked up that vocal stim from Trixie and Katya's podcast.
And how could you not? Truly, genuinely, how could you not?
Okay. Do we need to talk about Jimmy / MrBeast?
I'm trying to think if there's any more joy in this body that I want to share.
Is there any more joy that we can extract from this experience? Is there anything else that we wanted to talk about? Anything else
What do you guys,
fun
what's
that
been on
happened?
your guys' mind? Honestly, right now, we've been gone for a little while. Again, I wore my shirt because I wanted to bring all of my friends to our 50th episode.
As you should.
We did so many weeks in a row. I'm so proud of us.
I know.
Again, thank you everyone for watching and sticking around and hanging out with us.
Thank you very much.
I would love, honestly, what have you guys been up to? What have you guys been doing?
Yeah, let us know what's new in your lives.
It was a very good break. I think it's really important. I think something too that's very grounding for us is we both very much have to work our real jobs still. Yeah. And I think sometimes, and I'm going to segue this if you don't mind, when you start getting big or when you start blowing up or whatever, we saw a TikTok of Chappell, and it was back in the day.
I know.
Yeah, like back like at the start, and she's like just making bullshit fuck off TikToks. And I was like, do you ever think that like that person doesn't exist anymore? Yeah. Like I was like that Chappell right now is probably burnt the fuck out.
Yes. Well, she's openly acknowledged that too.
Yeah. Oh, she has?
Yeah, there was a live show where she, in between songs, she actually got emotional talking to the crowd about how like it's just been a lot, and she was like, I'm not really having a very good day, and she was like, I'm trying to do my best because you guys deserve a great performance and all this stuff, but she was like, it's hard. She was like, it's hard blowing up like this, and I can't even imagine going from like, the level of like comfortable fame that she had, where like she was touring, right? Like she opened for Fletcher and like, you know, was like doing
she could
well.
go to the grocery store though. Still,
yeah,
though.
but by no means was she like a household name. And now she filled out Lollapalooza in a way that like people haven't seen in years.
Genuinely,
you know, it's crazy.
And like so deserved.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But that's kind of scary.
Deservedly. Well deserved. Deservingly.
Okay, we don't need to
I
get
could
lost.
get stuck in a loop.
Yeah.
If you know how to say that word,
let us know.
You know what word I'm trying to say. But anyways, going back to the MrBeast thing now, if you're ready to pivot.
Yes.
I would say going forward, if you, like we said before, if you like MrBeast, like, no, you don't. And also too, I think once you get to a certain point for me now going forward, and I feel like I've had this thought, but now that I have words to say it out loud, once you become fucking rich and like not a real human anymore, like you have to continuously prove
that you're not an
not
asshole.
To me per se, but like I'd say to people generally,
the public,
that you're not a piece of shit.
Yes.
Because like I just don't like.
Once you surpass a certain income bracket, like you start to lose touch. I think
we were talking about like the Drake and Kendrick thing. I was having a discussion with someone, and I was like, because they're like, oh well, you know, I still like to listen. And I was like, that's fine, whatever, I get it. I was like, but like, you know, allegedly the things that are said, that if he is actually, you know, like
a PDF file.
Yeah.
Is how
Can we just say it on YouTube? It's YouTube.
I wouldn't.
No. Well, if he is a thing that is rumored to be, allegedly to be, then I'm like, that's a deal breaker for me. Like, I'm not listening to his music anymore.
Agreed.
And it's shit like that where I'm like that should be a deal. Like these are deal breakers.
Yes.
Like if normal ass fucking people wouldn't get away with shit like this.
Yes.
When people get to the point where like you can't talk shit about them and they're beyond reproach and they're beyond like criticism.
That's a problem.
We have a fucking problem.
Yes. And I think that's perfectly illustrated in the situation now where the allegations that have been leveled against MrBeast are shocking.
We went from like, oh, that's problematic
really
to
distressing, and people are still just writing them off and being like, well, but he's a good guy, and you know,
I argued with someone
he was nice before, or like, especially my favorite is the like, well, he's donated a lot of money to charity.
I don't give a fuck how much money you donate, because you don't get a free pass.
Yes, that's not a get out of jail free card to heap abuse and trauma upon others.
Because also that's the thing too that I never even fathomed or thought about it, because we film our little videos and one shot, one goes. Like very not low production value, but I mean like, you know, like we sit down, we film, no big deal. But like when you're working with multiple, like hundreds of different people and stuff, like also like I didn't even think about it. There's takes and like hours and hours and hours. Like it's fucking like an episode of Survivor.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
not like no, not like in the official sense, but like how much footage the editors are going through, because like
hours and hours.
I remember, I think Zeke was talking one of the seasons we were watching. One of the contestants was like, "Yeah, there's like hundreds of hours of footage. And you're getting an hour of that.
Yes,
you're
like y'all don't see that.
Yes,
yes,
and like how much fucked up shit is hitting that chopping room floor that no one has seen the light of day. Like the stuff that's available, that's out, that we're hearing from the stories, I'm sure there's so much fucking worse shit out there.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that these are the allegations that we're getting. These are the allegations that have been made public based on like receipts and like things that are in theory corroborated, right? These accusations have been allegedly supported by like extra pieces of media or like receipts and things like that. That's just what people can support, right? That's not the allegations that are just like purely hearsay. I think that's worth noting here. Like that's really, really fucking distressing. Also, I spared you the details of some of this. I'm going to talk about it. I have made a main channel video. At this point, I think it's already gone up on the channel. Actually,
it will be going up this Saturday.
The main channel video, I'm going over all of the things.
This Aaron hasn't edited yet, but Aaron in the future will have had edited.
So this is going up on a Thursday. At the time, at the time that you're seeing this, my main channel video will go up in 2 days, outlining the whole thing.
Hi from the future.
Hi from the future, or hi from the past, actually.
Blast from the
Hi
past.
to the future, hi from the past. Anyways, that main channel video has all of the allegations that are available to me at this moment in time. And there are some things that like turned my stomach. Like things that I've seen receipts for allegedly. I don't know if they're true. I don't know if they're photoshopped or not. But if those things are true, like genuinely made me fucking sick to my stomach.
It's painting a picture. We're getting into it's a trend. This is a fucking trend at this point.
Yes.
And can we talk about that video you showed me? It wasn't the most fun video to watch.
Yeah.
And the thought I just kept coming back to is, you know, just to draw some parallels real quick, because I know we talk about this on the channel. Like sometimes we'll laugh at super fucked up shit or whatever.
Yes.
Not laugh per se, like haha, like that's so funny that fucking happened to you.
No, in the way that it's like an incredulous sort of like, I can't believe this is happening.
Or like we're laughing to like shake, like the way a dog shakes off stress.
Yes.
We're laughing to like.
It's a stress response.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like sometimes, you know, like when shit's really like sometimes you just gotta, you know, like.
Yes. We're very like sarcastic and dark humored people.
Yes. And that person in that video you were showing me is a comedian, and they are so lucky that because he discussed having a very traumatic past and like, you know, like is not unfamiliar with shit being super fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they are so lucky they had someone who could like take that and make like a joke out of it, because I think that experience genuinely would have broken most people.
Well, I think it probably did.
I think it did clearly him.
Yeah.
But like also to use someone as a human guinea pig.
Yeah.
And then to still like, can you just give us? You're so much better about it than I am.
Okay, what we're referencing is a video that was put out by Dogpack 404. It's part 2 in Dogpack's series. At this time, I'm only aware of 3 parts coming out. I don't know if there's going to be any more. I'm sure by the time you're watching this, part 3 is probably already dropped. But at this moment of filming, we've only gotten to see part 2 because it dropped literally last night. I was up like staring at my phone.
More like this so that I
yes,
can sleep. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the latter half of that video is a man named Jake talking about his alleged experience in filming with MrBeast being the subject of a video. Supposedly the video was about surviving 30 days in solitary confinement or something.
Yep.
And the allegations that he made are that allegedly he, as the subject of the video, he endured like, you know, I don't know, 10 days or something with, you know, in theory, things that are nice, like an ice cream machine and a hot tub and, you know, whatever, but that they allegedly stopped turning the lights off for him to sleep.
Sounds like, until he like fucking...
Yeah, and he describes going through essentially like a mental break. We are going to talk about it in more detail on the main channel, but the way that he describes like losing touch with time. And
no clocks, no outside time.
Yes. Also, can we just take a brief break?
Of course
he talks about how like they allegedly took his phone and didn't give him access to a clock. And if that is true, like truly, that's one of my fucking worst nightmares.
Talk about liminal fucking space. Are you serious?
Oh my God.
No
I would have
concept
had
of
a
time?
panic attack in the first fucking 2 hours.
If it rains here for like 2 days in a row, I start getting fucking cagey.
Okay, but also,
can you imagine?
Like we talked about this recently. We just got back from a vacation, and one of the flights that we were on was like a pretty long one.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't handle that shit. Like it's not the flight itself, but it's because your phone doesn't update, or at least mine doesn't update the time correctly while you're in the air. And so the first time that this happened, we were on like a semi-long flight.
This is a life hack right here. This is
the first time that this happened, I was like, like starting to be like, I'm gonna have a fucking panic attack on this plane. Like I can't take this, because I didn't know how much time had passed. And so the second time I got on a flight that was longer, I was like, okay, I'm starting a stopwatch as soon as we start to taxi towards takeoff, so that I can just keep track of time.
Some semblance
and
of
it
passing.
helped me so much.
That shit was clutch.
Not being able to perceive correctly the passing of time is like such a button. Like I have my own anxiety about being trapped in a liminal space, but also about like not being able to escape. Like being trapped in a tin tube is like one of my worst fucking nightmares, and I just can't. It freaks me out. So I would have fucking lost it. I would have been climbing the walls in the first couple of hours. And that man endured allegedly being in that space for several days with the lights on.
Yeah,
so
no
he couldn't
sleep.
even perceive like day, night,
fucking up your circadian rhythm is like genuinely like...
Well, it's apparently a war crime.
Yeah, I did not know that.
It violates the Geneva Convention
sleep
to
deprivation.
keep war criminals in like lights on all the time. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Even like war criminals are not allowed to be treated that way. And this man alleges that he was treated that way for the production of a YouTube video.
Also, too, okay, so does everyone feel like they have enough background? I don't know why I'm asking as if we can get a live. I'm ready for a live studio audience. I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll just fit him in our fucking 300 square foot office.
Yeah, not even you're looking at about. That's something MrBeast would do. Honestly, is fucking how many
Live
people can we
studio
fit
audience.
in here? Yeah, but how many people we could fit in here?
Actually, yeah,
and make a fucking challenge out of it. Not everything. That's the other thing too that fucking grinds my gears is YouTube set him up as this fucking golden boy because he's just throwing and jamming fucking money at people's asses.
Yeah,
and like one for what, but two like. Everything shouldn't be challenge content. Like that's not. I don't care. Good. For me, it's giving fucking home improvement,
extreme renovation.
makeover, Biggest Loser, like all those fucking awful problematic shows that people complain about, but because
that use humans as pawns.
Yes. Yeah. Like reality TV creepy. As it is has its faults and foibles. It does. Of course. I love using phrases that you do. Foibles is such a fun word.
Foibles is a fun word.
But then like to turn around and and I know it's kids.
Well, yeah, they acknowledge that.
But like it blows my mind. Also, the thing we talk about too, remember when like we were growing up, we were talking about music, and like adults writing music to kids.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
how
like,
weird.
The concerts you used to go to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where there were grown men on the stage collecting bras from teenagers.
Problematic.
I brought a bra to throw
you were a child.
At like almost 30-year-old women or 30-year-old men as a child. And
still
I was
problematic.
Like, no, yes, but
would be,
still, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I guess there's that. That was just my quick thought on that too. But go on if you have any more. Is there any more background story for it?
Hold on. There's something else. The other thing about challenge content that pushes my buttons is that it continually ups the ante to the degree that now like people end up getting shoehorned into making content that starts to become unsafe, right? Because
you gotta
in order for the video to be more incredible, more amazing, more interesting than the last one, and to get the same amount of clicks and views, if not more clicks and views than last time, is that we start to veer into like, is this human abuse? I don't know.
Well, we put a fun thumbnail on it where he AI generates his own pictures and then fucking slapped a fucking big old piece of text on it.
Can we talk about the thumbnails on MrBeast's channel?
Yes, you can talk about the thumbnails because you were there when he talked to you guys about it.
They've bothered me forever. Yeah.
This
is me just like
as a hate.
This is well, and also it's allegedly because I witnessed it in person, so I don't have any like receipts to corroborate this. But when Hannah and I went to Vidsummit, MrBeast was the keynote speaker. First of all, Mans didn't even bother to make a keynote speech.
Why would he?
Literally got on stage.
He already got all your guys' cash. Why would he need to?
He literally got on stage and said, I was supposed to make a keynote, but I didn't really feel like it. So we're just going to do a Q&A, and then had them live screen questions for a Q&A. Like right then and there. Somebody asked him about thumbnails and he was like, sometimes I take thumbnail photos, but sometimes I'm not really in the mood. And so they'll just AI generate them for me.
When a creator offsets so much, that is one thing.
What?
I won't name names, but there's a giant creator on YouTube who said, like touch your content still. Like still be in touch and in contact and like
best advice I've ever gotten.
And not that we're in a position that we could do that anyways, but when someone offloads so much of their content, like you could genuinely slap anyone's fucking face on it anymore. Yeah. Like you're not shit. Like
that man walks on and walks off set, and that's the end of his involvement with the content. Allegedly.
Why do we continue to prop that shit up? Like it's so transparent to me. I don't know. I thought I'm a genuine hate ass, but like also like.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That was a really good one.
Can you hand me the Nito?
Oh, here you go, dude. There you go, big guy.
She's
firm. You can warm that up. This is devolving.
So I feel like this also kind of goes hand in hand with this like trend that's happening recently that honestly I'm really happy to see, which is that like back in the day, in the early days of YouTube, it was... I think like for a lot of people it was first of all like very like grassroots
shit posty. Also like the fucking 2D animations.
That too, yes. But people who were like forward facing content creators, first of all had real jobs almost all of the time.
Production value? Who is she?
Garbage. Yeah. Like audio, video, the editing, all bad.
Yeah.
People were making YouTube videos on like Movie Maker on their PCs,
fucking 240p.
Yes, and like audio leveling and all that stuff, that wasn't a thing. Like that didn't exist then.
Yes.
So that kind of gradually gave way into like higher production value content and all of this stuff.
Sure.
Up to the era that we're in now of like being a professional influencer and like everybody has a Shure microphone, you know, and like
I purposely wanted to not buy other ones, but the other ones I want are way too expensive.
Yeah, these are just really nice too.
They just also like Shure, shout out to Shure, like you guys make good products.
Yeah,
this is one thing that I'm like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah. But gradually, I think like consumer attitudes about online content and like YouTuber content are starting to shift to be like the other way again, where there's like a nostalgia. Yeah. And so I personally really appreciate it because the expectation that everybody should have like a production crew and like
it's so unrealistic.
A whole team. If I had $1 for every presentation at VidCon or at Vidsummit that were about like scaling your team and growing your team and all these things, I probably would only have like $50, but that's still a lot of presentations. That's really like a weird expectation that I personally don't aspire to.
No.
Like, is that bad?
Like, are we supposed to be making content like MrBeast? Not that we would anyways, because our ethics and morals and like
because we care about
basic
people.
human empathy would kick in.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. Well, no, I know our empathy would kick in, but allegedly his. We don't
allegedly
know,
his might not be. Yeah.
But like, I don't want to fucking make that content.
No.
And also too, like, don't tell me it's the fucking I'm gonna call it now is gonna be the Chappell Roanification of music, where labels are just gonna be like, hey, can you just be as big as Chappell, please?
I know.
And it's not gonna fucking work.
No.
Because there's just one like the same way you had Madonna and Britney and Michael and fucking whoever else. Like, just stop capitalism, please stop it. Stop it, please. I'm capitalismed out.
Yes. Well, I think that's also kind of the issue with MrBeast, right? Is that like Hannah and I talked about this when we recapped Vidsummit, which is that they basically make money selling these tickets to a bunch of teenagers who want to be the next MrBeast. And like, that's fucking stupid, first of all.
Yes.
But second of all, no, you can't do that. You can't do that because no one is going to be able to beat him at his own game because he has a fucking wild amount of money to blow on every video. And like a teenager can't sit there and make content where he's like burying someone alive for 100 hours. Like, that's not real.
Literally. Also too,
someone who like lives at home still can't recreate fucking Squid Game. Nor should they, by the way.
Why
can we talk about how
talk about it?
I fucking knew that this shit was coming. Well, not this. I didn't anticipate this.
You think it's gonna be this bad?
Yeah, the allegations that have been leveled against him are pretty fucking awful.
Go off.
But back in the day when MrBeast recreated Squid Games, and I was like, fucking yuck.
I've also never watched one of his videos because the title
stupid.
Yes, alone. Like, why would I want to watch that?
But also, like, did you watch it? Like, I think you missed the whole fucking point. Literally. Which is like a pretty loud, I felt.
Again, I'm like, are other people watching the show too or not?
I don't know. It felt like a pretty loud fucking core theme about how capitalism corrupts absolutely and will drive people to do the most depraved and unhinged and inhumane things in the name of money because we're forced and pitted against one another to the degree that we can't survive. We're forced to sell our humanity for the right to live. Like, am I wrong? Like, he's
doing the same thing. He might as well just have a mask on.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, but then they recreated it. Like, this man who has more money than sense recreated a game that's literally about the abuses and horrors of capitalism, and then gave money away. Like, I don't get it. I was so confused when it looked like ovaries.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
I was so confused when anybody was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I remember watching a Philip DeFranco video at the time. I know. Where he was like, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I was like, what? Yeah, it fucking is. Yeah, it fucking is. This is fucking sus. And like now, given all of the allegations and the accusations that have come forward, I'm like, you know, I feel very validated.
As soon as I saw he did that episode with Keith on TikTok about his fucking chocolate bars,
I fucking
and he was like,
Feastables.
bro, like they're just not that good or whatever.
Yeah, he was like,
and
like, fine.
It's not like in his head to think, oh, maybe
me.
This product actually is fucking bad.
Yeah,
and maybe I should do something to figure it out. But no, because he doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to make a buck because everyone and their mom slaps their fucking dick on a chocolate bar and says, "Eat this shit,"
and
like
works.
Fucking pay $10 on it. Also, fuck Prime.
Yes, that too.
And also
God, I know.
But like, that's what I'm saying is, it's not like, oh, what can I do to improve this? What can I do to be better? It's, no, you're wrong. Shut the fuck up and give me a good review because I've been handed everything in my life and now I'm beyond. Yeah, pick up. I can see you do it.
No, I was giving you
That's
space.
it. I'm tuckering myself out. I'm gonna sleep so good tonight.
This is another thing that was alleged in Dogpack's first video, the first part of this series, where Dogpack was talking about Feastables, the candy brand that MrBeast owns. Allegedly, when the bar was first made, it contained only 5 ingredients. This is not alleged. Actually, there was like real documented footage of this that MrBeast talked about how the bars were healthier than Hershey's and, like a better alternative. And like they didn't have as much sugar as other candy brands or whatever. And so it was marketed as this sort of healthier alternative to chocolate, right? And that they still tasted great. I got to tell you, I don't know if this was pre or post the change in formula. Spoiler, there was a change in the formula. But when Hannah and I went to Vidsummit, you could just cough, baby. Are you fucking off?
Wrong tube.
Oh my God. Well, drink some water, baby.
That's what hurt me.
Okay, but it helps after.
I trusted you.
That's what hurt me.
Oh, continue. I drank wrong tube.
Fuck, you're so
Good. Keep going. Good.
You're so impassioned about Feastables.
I'm so fired up about Feastables.
When Hannah and I attended Vidsummit, of course you check in and whatever, and you get your little goodie bag with all the stuff in it. First of all, basically empty. But second
Love
of
the
all,
side shade.
It was basically filled with a bunch of MrBeast crap.
That's what I'm saying. Which also were all tax write-offs because he's paying his own company to give it. Which
it's very Vidsummit as a whole was very masturbatory. It was just very like, I am putting on this event where my company is sponsoring the event, and so I'm
paying myself.
Yeah,
and you guys are also paying me.
Very, like,
and then also I said fuck you when you guys wanted information.
Yes, and also food. Yeah. This is the other thing. We're going to circle back around to Beast Games here in a second. But I don't know if when we had Feastables at Vidsummit, if this is pre or post formula change, but that shit fucking sucked. Hannah and I literally went to each other's hotel rooms and I was like, have you tried this? And she was like, no. And I was like, eat your candy bar. Please try a piece of it because mine tastes like, or actually I didn't say anything because I didn't want to like influence
Mickey and I are, and you know how I know this is true? Because Mickey and I, anytime we're eating something the first time, we go.
We say, hold for response.
We said, hold on, I'm getting a call. I'm getting a call from my stomach.
Yeah, and then
what is the verdict?
Like a 3, 2, 1. I didn't want to influence her, so she tried it, and she was like, ooh. And I think hers was like milk chocolate or something, and she was like, oh, but I usually only like dark chocolate. And I was like, I have dark chocolate. Try mine. And she was like, ooh. Both of them tasted like fucking dog shit, dude.
God.
It tasted like somebody took the dust from the bottom of your suitcase and mixed it with Caranuba wax.
Also, question: are these protein bars? Or are these just?
No, they're chocolate bars. They're meant to be
they're
treats.
not even protein. Because if it's a protein bar, then I can kind of I can accept some level of chalkiness.
No, it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be a treat.
It's meant to be a treat.
It was literally wax with dust in it. It tasted
That's not a good review.
Like wax with like some old sugar that you found at the back of your pantry got homogenized with like some fucking car wax. It was really, and dust. It was disgusting. So I fucking knew full well. I was like, this man is a charlatan. This man is pulling off the biggest scam, allegedly. That we've ever seen. Because this shit's fucking disgusting. The other thing, we should talk about Beast Games. Because
talk about it.
Rosanna Pansino has been a whistleblower as far as the Beast Games things are concerned. There's a lot of allegations. Go watch the main channel video. But there's a lot of allegations.
Well, they can't yet.
Go watch it in a few days.
Watch it. Set a reminder.
Yeah. You can turn on notifications, actually, if you click the thing. There are allegations about Beast Games, which is a competition-style show that MrBeast is creating in...
My impression it's like Survivor.
No.
Oh, no.
No, it's not that cool.
I like to know as little about him. Everything I have learned has been against my will.
It's a competition-style show that he's producing in tandem with Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, okay.
And so... First of all, it was supposed to be 1,000 people, but MrBeast decided that he wanted to make a YouTube video out of the first part of it, and then there would be the Amazon Prime Video part of it later. So there was 2,000 people that showed up to compete for the 1,000 spots to be on the actual Amazon show. So people were pretty upset about that, allegedly. That's like the word on the street. But then all of these allegations have come forward about there being a lack of food, about there being a lack of water, about people allegedly collapsing and being dehydrated, like all of this terrible, terrible stuff, right? And one of the accusations that I read was that allegedly the team was really not responsive to the contestants like ask for water and food and other things and medication and menstrual sanitary or like menstrual products. And like all of this stuff, right? And the statement, the quote that was included in the article said that allegedly the team seemed very disorganized and confused, right? And immediately when I read that, I was like, I believe that accusation wholeheartedly, because you know where I have encountered a team that was really confused and disoriented.
Where we spend our own hard-earned money on.
Can I just tell you, by the way, Vidsummit was not fucking cheap. I think it was like $1,300 fucking dollars a piece that Hannah and I spent.
I didn't know it was that much.
Granted, Hannah and I were like, it's mostly for us to hang out in person. And so like if it ends up being a wash, then it's fine. But like it was a lot of money, not including plane fare and like a hotel and all that stuff. I don't think anyways.
Also real quick, it's us.
Aw, it's cute.
It's infinity.
Infinity and love.
And love.
But so we went to Vidsummit under the impression, because they tell you that you're going to have catered lunches and like snacks and water and, you know, whatever, right?
For $1,300, you should be like mildly taken care of.
I fucking hope so. No, that was not my experience. At the Vidsummit that I attended, this was the last one that happened in LA, not this most recent one in Texas. But at the Vidsummit that Hannah and I attended, first of all, if you were not one of the first 10 people to get to the table where the poor hotel staff was putting out muffins and like fruit for breakfast.
Like the regular continental breakfast.
You didn't get food. And people fucking swarmed those tables because there was 2 locations where food was doled out for like at least 1,000 people, several hundred people, maybe more than that, honestly.
A large group.
It was a convention. So, I mean, it wasn't as big as like VidCon or like Comic-Con, obviously, but it was like a large scale event. I mean, it was filling up all of the ballrooms at the LAX or the LA Convention Center, right? Like, this wasn't small potatoes. And there was not enough fucking food. If you didn't get there in the first 10 minutes, gone. But also for lunch, Hannah and I walked around and around and around and got the fucking I was going to say something inappropriate. We got the fucking runaround looking for fucking food, and then eventually ended up finding a table that had some sandwiches left that were lukewarm by that time, by the way, which also you know anyways how sensitive I am about food being in the danger zone because I worked in food service.
It's fine.
I take the danger zone very seriously.
Is someone calling you out in the room with us now? Are they in as the audience? Hey, keep it down back there.
I know that some people are fine and like, you know.
One of our best friends, I had a sandwich. I had a burger left over hours outside, and we were at the bar, and they're like, "Hey, do you care if I have that?" And I was like, "I mean, honestly, I was probably gonna throw it away at this point because it's probably not safe to eat." And they're like, "That's fine."
Oh my God. I know. When they were over at our house hanging out the other day, we had ramen, and I put mine in a little container and like cleaned everything out and put it away and put it in the refrigerator, and theirs is still sitting on the counter. And I was like,
That's why it's still in the fridge.
I was like, I know you're fine with your food sitting in the danger zone, but it just makes you nervous. So I'm just going to put it in the fridge for you. And they were like, okay. But
they don't have refrigerators.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm very sensitive about the danger zone with food. And so we got these lukewarm ass fucking sandwiches with like lettuce and tomato. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, tomatoes are one of the most likely foods to give people food poisoning at fast food restaurants because they're very volatile. And also they have a high water content. So
that makes sense.
Like something like lettuce. Also, when it goes bad, you're gonna be able to see it. Oh, little hair.
No, it was a bubble.
Oh, you had a hair in there. But yeah, so I was like really annoyed that we got food that had just been sitting out for God only knows how long. And then we got Beast burgers another day. They were okay. They weren't that bad. I'll give him that.
I love
the Beast
a good
burgers were not that bad.
Too, let me tell you. But
again, like had to literally show up there 5 seconds after they dropped the food off because people swarmed it like locusts.
Because there wasn't enough food.
Well, and then there was one day that there was like, oh, it was dessert. That's what it was. They were supposed to give us like evening snacks or whatever. There was like brownies and cookies and whatever. And they were all gone. And so Hannah went up to one of the event organizers. I won't say who. Actually, you know what? I will. It was Daryl Eves. Hannah went up to Daryl Eves, who is like a very like YouTube guru, golden boy.
Okay. I don't know who this person is, but I love a name drop.
He also blessed us all with a sermon on the main stage of the event, which felt really inappropriate. But she went up to Daryl Eves, and I think it was Daryl Eves anyways, and said something about like, you know, things being disorganized or whatever. And it was like a very uncaring and just like
this is the way it is.
Unbothered affect about the whole thing. And it was like, oh. There was also someone who made a comment about how disorganized the event was on this little, it was like an app that you could download for conventions generally. And then you used a specific code to link to the convention that you're at. And so someone made a comment about the event being disorganized or whatever and got fucking bullied into oblivion by some of the people who were like speakers and like organizers of the event, by the way.
Huh?
Yeah. It was literally like a call for feedback or something. And this poor woman got bullied into oblivion. Yeah. For voicing her opinion about the event. And I was just like, I left with such a bad taste in my mouth and was like thoroughly like, I'm never giving money to these fucking people ever again. And so when I read the accusations in that article, I was like, ooh, I don't. Like, I believe that.
I remember having an argument at work, and I remember specifically saying, I don't give a fuck how much money. Because also, too, if I had that much money to just fucking give, I would just do something with it. I would either do something for myself, I would do something for other people, I would just make something.
Can I just tell you one of my dreams? I can think of
100 fucking things.
Yes. One of my dreams, when having like fuck off money like that.
I'll tell you, you tell me yours. We can just keep going. Okay.
One of my dreams in having fuck off money like that is literally just to host a traveling event where people can just share community space and you get to like meet each other and like for our Discord server, but for people to meet each other IRL in a safe environment that's like moderated and where everybody's like like you have to submit proof of like, your like identity and credentials like all those things before you meet so that it's like safe and it's not like Craigslist meetups, you know, where it's like you have an assurance that and like where there's staff to make sure that if you feel uncomfortable and like all of those things, like I would love to just host a traveling event where people could just
and
like
then,
show up at the closest like venue to where they live.
In tandem with yours, I've always, because I never got to go on Survivor, I really should audition again.
You should.
I never got to go. I was very close. I was so close.
Made it to the second stage of auditions.
I like to think Jeff did see my video. I like to think Jeff saw my video.
Also, I listened to like several hours of the Survivor podcast in prep for the MrBeast video. So much more respect for the show after that.
I always have. Like, I love
them at even higher level
my
now.
grandma, rest her soul.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to learn enough about her when I did, but I think if I had known her much more when I was older, then it's like that thing you're like, oh fuck, you're like actually really racist. But all the time we had together when I was a child and didn't know any better, perfectly fine.
She was like a parent
But
to you.
anyways, Survivor was our jam. Anyways, doesn't matter. I just think it'd be so cool to have like a little summer like outdoor rec when that was my favorite thing growing up. Is we would like obviously, but like it would just be free.
Yes.
I would just have staff. I would make sure the staff was paid for and happy and good.
Yes.
And like, I just want to set up I just want to do the challenges. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. I'm not going to lie though. I would love to do some lying. On Survivor. I've
been listening to Brat too much. I thought you were going to say I want to do some lines. And I was Pumpkin, I don't want to do that.
I think there's so many other things that just came to mind for that, and I'm not going to talk about them. But I would just love. I think it'd be so cool. It'd be so cool. Just have like a traveling, like a circus, but like for obstacle courses and like kids. But we also can include like self confidence.
Yes.
And like
teamwork, exercises
teamwork,
to make you feel good about yourself.
Yes. And like
confidence
the
building
phones
and empowerment.
Off to the side, so no one's getting recorded, being a silly little Billy or eating
Be
shit.
silly because no one's gonna film this.
Oh, Wipeout is one of my favorite shows. Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
Yeah,
but
no, that's okay. Yeah, I hear what you're saying though.
But like also, or like I would just love like a big old fat music studio, you know, where kids you want to just come play on instrument? I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
Like someone broke a $500 guitar, I don't give a fuck. I'll buy another one.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Like I'll buy 10 more.
Absolutely.
You want to break some guitars? Oh, I bet breaking a guitar.
I bet that would be so fun.
Okay, if I can actually find one. So I bought a new one and then I returned it because I ended up not liking it.
Yeah.
I think I'm a Strat. I'm a Strat guy.
Yeah.
But
I know what that means. Totally.
It doesn't matter. Because I got a Telecaster. It doesn't matter. Mickey totally knows what that means.
I too know what that means.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, if I get another one, we should definitely because my other one's just a beater. We could just. But I feel like I would give that to you. I want you to know.
Really?
I would.
Can I just tell you though, brief addendum. Honestly,
we probably should start wrapping it up.
We'll wrap up the MrBeast stuff here because fuck MrBeast. He sucks.
I have shown more empathy to dogs in the pound than I think he has to these people.
I've shown more empathy to people who've done me wrong.
You have. Honestly, that's true. I genuinely say, I'm like, Nikki, you could be meaner to them.
Literally fucking sobbing, full body sobbing about potentially hurting somebody's feelings.
Yeah.
When they've hurt me and have like really done me wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel so guilty about like not allowing them to be a part of my life and like, you know, me receiving that behavior anymore.
I didn't hold the door for someone for a second longer and they like had to kind of push it open. I was like, oh my God. I was like, fuck, Aaron, you're such a
Should I turn around?
I was like, God, you're such a piece of shit. And I'm like, no, Aaron, that's not really how it works.
It's fine.
But like literally like that person who worked for his staff and was like, like in his fucking circle.
Yes.
He treated him like a fucking science experiment.
Yeah.
And
allegedly.
Allegedly. And then I can't imagine watching someone go into a mental break and like just deteriorate like inside and outside and then force them to like dance a little bit more, monkey. You want your money? Yes. Like I would just be like, after he finished I was like, you could just have your $300,000. You could just have it. Just
at
like,
the
thank you
first
so
sign
much.
of mental distress, I'd be like, you know what, this was stupid.
Like,
Never
bad
mind.
idea, bad take,
the
bad
first
take.
time that somebody from my staff was like, hey, it's not really going well, I'd be like, oh, fuck. I'd like,
I didn't think about it.
Like, I'm so sorry. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm so fucking dumb. Please take all this money. Take extra money.
We have teased and spent hours dissecting like comments and interactions with people on the internet more so than this man.
It's a real problem actually in our own content niche. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna. It's a real problem in our own like little corner of the internet that we're too nice. Like we need to have more boundaries with the internet because we are too amenable to people's suggestions and people's asks and then, that it turns into people treating me like the giving tree online sometimes. And like we need to fucking figure out how to dial it back. But I can't because I know what it feels like to be rebuffed and to be abandoned and like my worst fucking nightmare is making other people feel that way. Yeah. Like I hate that.
I'm dead serious. You guys have no ideas how many conversations we have. Like that, so many. People like be nice on the internet, and also like
be nice to each other. Be nice to me.
If you wouldn't say it to a big creator, then like don't be bringing that shit in here.
That's true.
Because like clearly Mr. Beast is over here fucking running. Fucking having the time of his life.
I'm out here compulsing about using like inclusive language.
Yeah.
And like being like, we should refilm that whole video. We have actually refilmed a whole video.
I accidentally said a character's name wrong in a show and I fucking compulsed about it for 15 minutes. And then it was like, can we even put this whole episode up? Like I don't even know.
Putting people in solitary confinement. Them.
And meanwhile people are like, he's the best creator on the platform.
Yeah. Also, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Donating money to charity does not give you a fucking get out of jail free card.
Or even individual peoples, because you're not helping community still. You're just helping like
I'm gonna talk about it in the main channel video. There's a whole soapbox that I have about
actually. I am like so fired up.
That's fair. Okay, so we're wrapping that up. There's gonna be oh wait, I'm gonna talk about one more thing. There's going to be so many things that we're going to talk about in the main channel video. It's going to be very long and comprehensive. So if you want more of an explanation and also like more of my thoughts about the situation, like go watch that. But I want to talk about...
That's a lot of water.
I want to talk about as our closing recommendation and or just a thing that I am really excited about. We, for reasons that we will not discuss, it's fine. We can talk about it. Our cat has a stress problem. She pees on things. And so she ruined one of our armchairs by just really going ham on the thing. I don't know where she got so much liquid.
There's so much piss.
So much pee.
There's so much piss. I picked up the chair and there's piss on the floor.
And it was dripping. It was everywhere. So we had to get rid of it because you're not going to catch me donating things to charity that are gross and broken. And
you broke that chair down like I have never. Sorry.
So we dealt with it we would normally just like take it to the dump, but we didn't have time. So I was like, I'll get it to fit in the trash can. And I smashed it into pieces.
We only had one injury on the job site.
I know, and it was you. I'm so sorry.
It was me.
I'm so sorry. That was my fault.
It's okay. It's totally okay.
I accidentally knocked the chair into you and it scraped you real good.
It was a bit of a, because you thought I was holding it. I thought you were holding it. It could have happened to anybody.
Yeah. But when I tell you that it unlocked a part of my soul that I guess I did kind of know it was there because I've been to a rage room before.
Yeah.
But it was the most, like, this was happening in the midst of me being in so much pain, like with my mouth.
The meds are doing so.
Oh,
I'm so thankful you got your meds situated.
Yes, I had an appointment with a pain center here in Tucson.
You were a medicated
Oh God, I know. I'm taking meds 4 times a day now at like a high enough dose that my primary care physician, when I told them about it, they were like, "How are you tolerating a dose that high?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm built different. I was like, I don't have a choice. Also, to be fair, I'm fat, so I do think I metabolize stuff differently.
Most definitely. I think that's a possibility.
This was before I had pain meds, and so I couldn't eat. I couldn't open my mouth. I couldn't talk. We weren't kissing for like weeks, and it was really sad. And I was smashing this like recliner into the
God, it was incredible. I stood outside because the window to the outside, and I just watched Mickey for like 5 minutes. And I was like, "There's nothing there's nothing for me out there."
The rage that I felt about my own body being useless to me was like channeled into this chair, and it just felt so cathartic. It was so nice.
To like the 2001: A Space Odyssey when the monkeys discover tools, I think, and they start the hammer, and they're just breaking, and the music's playing, and it's incredible. Yeah, that was.
It was one of those things where you're like, okay, this is a safe outlet for me to do this, you know? And it was like, I don't know. It was like, because I went to go hit it while it was in the dumpster to just like smoosh it down some more. And then I just was like, I'm going to fucking hit this thing some more. And then it was like.
And you get another one.
It was really cathartic. So if you have a rage room and it's like safe for you and your body, like near you, if you have a rage room near you and it's safe for you and your body to do that, like highly recommend. Because I enjoyed it a lot. Okay, I was looking up advice and like cat behaviorist stuff about like why the fuck is my cat peeing on everything? Because I have a suspicion of why she's doing it, but none of the things that you would typically do to resolve that issue are working. And so I'm like, is it something else? But I was looking at like recommendations for this, and someone was like, yeah, if your cat goes to pee on something in front of you, you shouldn't like move too quickly or yell or anything to startle them, because it will like negatively, like they'll like negatively associate it, but you're like hurting your cat. Which like I don't disagree with. You shouldn't punish your cats or like try to scare them on purpose.
Which we don't.
But like they were like, you should gently pick up your cat and put them in the box to reinforce the proper behavior
while they're pissing.
But like, I think this is for people whose cats are just like peeing on the litter mat outside of the litter box, because like I'm not gonna pick up my cat while she's peeing in the living room and like
like, oh, thank you for ruining another piece of. We have spent over $300 on dog beds. She only pees on one of our dog's beds, and it's the youngest. It's the pup. It's little pup.
It's just
Savannah doesn't care. She's cool. She's like, fuck you, you're cool.
Also, Olivia's 5, 6.
We've had her for years.
We've had her for 6 years.
Since she was a pup.
Now she hates her?
In this economy? Amazon's probably like, how many dogs do these people have? Why do they continue to buy dog beds every single week?
Thankfully, I figured out the secret sauce so that we can wash them instead of having to buy new ones.
God, it's so demoralizing.
We spent $300 on dog beds in the past like 2 weeks alone. Like, we're poor. We don't have money. I keep telling all of our pets.
Your views directly contribute to helping us
Imogen's
keep our
fund.
pets comfortable.
This is a telethon for Imogen's piss fund.
How long do you think we could record? I bet we could do it for a long time.
We could have
if we had activities though.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that,
I knew this episode was going to be long.
We're going to go. Well, we had 2 weeks to catch up on. I didn't say it like that.
If we missed anything else while we were gone that you guys wanted to tell us about, please tell us.
Please tell us. Let us know what you think. I love that I burped while you were talking, so you have to keep that in now. Sorry.
We have bodily functions.
I had orange chicken before we started this, and my tummy
it kind of
is
just queefed a little bit. It went,
I thought you were talking about me, and I was like, no, I did not.
Okay, I think we need to be done.
We need to go.
Gotta go.
Love you the most.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.